the bartender was just like, yeah, but like 80% of those bitches are lying.
All right. Well, maybe Lilly took a bump.
It took a bump of something.
I'm offended by that. Snow White is not Latina. Speaking of hot teenagers.
What? Why was Jorden Peterson talking about Idris Elba?
Free Woody Allen.
Kevin Spacey murdered his victims.
To wrap up this Jorden Peterson.
And fucking home for everything.
I mean, I guess this is the beginning of the podcast. So welcome to the Hope for Everything podcast. This is, what are we on? Episode 21. We got Jessica here. We got Jake here as usual. Everybody's here. We're all trying to, I don't know if we're drunk, almost there.
Oh shit. I'm definitely almost here.
I don't.
I just kicked my whole desk and it just shook like.
It's just Jessica's blocked right now by her whole fucking screen at this. I know. Just I don't think I'm drunk. I think I'm just nauseous at this point. I'd be sick if I threw up on the pod.
Drink some more.
Yeah.
No, I am like 3/4 of the way through my first beer, so I don't think I'm drunk.
No, Jake only gets drunk when it's like 2 a.m. when we're playing video games, and I'll just hear him like start to slur his words, and or
because I'm not normal. Like, not 2 a.m. too early. Like the last couple times we played, it was like 4 or 5 a.m. when we were like wrapping up. Like literally the last time we played, I remember looking at the clock because we were thinking like, oh, what should we do next? And I was like, I think we should go to bed. It's 5.
And I kept saying, want to do another?
Yeah, but the issue is like, I like at 2, I'm still like, yeah, I've been drinking for a minute, but I just don't stop if I'm still up and I'm not really paying attention if we're like playing video games and stuff to the amounts at that point. Like, I'm not normally staying up drinking till 5 a.m. But when it's just like, oh yeah, we're just fucking around doing shit, it's like shit. Suddenly, that's exactly what I'm doing.
No, that's
then we're talking about cheeseburgers for 2 hours.
Where did you get cheeseburgers that you're so excited?
He made them.
I made them, and we also discussed them for a very long time while I was streaming that night. That's what me and Jake do. Me and Jake talk food.
Yeah, mostly about Eric's inability to make it.
My inability to make food, my inability to please women, in all aspects.
Well, that makes sense.
Ask me all the questions about this while streaming live. So I get to, like, the food stuff is easy, but I get to sit there and be like, I don't know who you're sleeping with, so it's really hard for me to tell you what you're doing wrong.
Everything is my guess.
I guess.
That pre-production meeting was too long. I already need another beer.
Damn, how far do you have to go to get the other beer?
On the corner, but like I'm in headphones, so like
it's too late. I mean, we could start I'll start the first
rolling.
We're still
you could
rolling.
just go get a beer and me and Eric will take over.
We can take over. We can talk about the first thing that you sent us last night. And I think it was last night. What's her name? Evangeline Lilly from The Wasp.
Fuck that.
Evangeline Lilly. Is that how you pronounce her name, Jake?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Her to pronounce.
Well, Evangeline Lilly, she's one of the stars of The Wasp and Ant-Man and
oh yeah, she's
Marvel, Disney, the whole spiel.
Yeah, I did see this thing. She's Anti-vax. At least at the rally.
So she posted a picture about at the anti-vax rally. I don't think she's anti-vax because she works for Disney, so she kind of has to have the vax.
Yeah, I was going to say the work I've done for Disney, and I'm around basically no one while I'm doing that work. They are strict as shit. Like getting daily tests when I'm working for Disney and all that shit. It's fucking. And it's like they have like the vax information. Everyone that is working there is like vaccinated and boosted. So, but they're still just like, you got to wear these N95s and you got to take tests every time you walk into our building. So fun stuff.
Yeah, I was supposed to get tested on the job that I was on today, and I just avoided it, not on purpose.
Oh fuck, cancel Eric.
We had half a day, and as I was leaving, I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to get tested today, which I could have used for a future job. But
So do you want to hear a story?
Is it about Evangeline Lilly?
No, but it is about vaccine on set. So there was this shoot one time, and they weren't specific on if they needed a rapid PCR or a regular PCR. So I just got a rapid, right? And because they weren't telling me, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to get a rapid. I got a rapid test, and it had to be a rapid PCR. But I got a PCR the same time I got the rapid. The PCR results didn't come back, so I just didn't mail my results. And the COVID lady didn't even notice until after the shoot. And she emailed me like, hey, where's your test results? I think I might have misplaced them. And then I just sent her the PCR because I got it by then.
Dude, that happens all the time. I go to jobs and I'm supposed to send them shit. Or I actually get tested and then they never ask for my results. And it's like a weekend and they never bother to ask. So what's the point? At this point, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I knew I was negative.
Did you though?
Jake. Yeah, I did. I had the rapid.
Sorry, Jake.
Sorry about what?
You said something. We didn't hear you.
Oh, I just mocked you. I just said, what's the point in a more exaggerated fashion? It'll come through on the air. It's fine.
Yeah. So Evangeline Lilly, she's definitely vaxxed because she's on Disney, whatever. So she goes to the rally and she posted pictures about, basically she's in agreement with people that choose not to get vaxxed. It was photos about nurses who don't want to get vaxxed, or just the idea that people shouldn't be forced to get vaxxed. So I guess, I mean, I don't know if she's going to keep her job. I don't know. I don't think they're going to fire her because it's not like she's necessarily doing anything outside of their demands. You know, like, can she be fired because of something that she believes in? Is she calling for violence? Like, I don't know.
That's the tricky part, isn't it? Because like she got vaxxed, right? And she's really only just using her free speech, whether you agree with it or not. She's kind of just saying she doesn't believe in the mandate. So it's kind of that fine line of like, is it because you don't agree with her that you don't want her to say anything? Or like, is it cool even though you don't agree with her? You know?
In my opinion, at least, like, I don't know the exact wordings of it, just the way we talked about it. It's weird because there is no vaccine mandate, like, nationally. Like,
You're right.
Is like different businesses can ask you to, and like the government's like, if you're a public, I don't even think every state government's like this, but like our state government in New York is like, if you're a government employee, you gotta be vaccinated to work.
Yeah.
And some companies are like, if you're going to work for us, you gotta be vaccinated to work. But that's not a mandate. That's just companies pretty much just looking out, like on a private business like scale of it. It's them looking out for the bottom line because the shit spreads fast.
Yep.
And they don't want people who are at higher risk who've chosen to be at higher risk, especially.
Yeah.
To walk in and possibly just fuck up their money. Like, that's really what it comes down to, is capitalists being like, this could fuck up my money. And then people who probably by other ends of it would wildly support like free market capitalist policies. Well, the most part of it is companies being like, this is the shit. Like, no one's told any, like, there's no private business mandate.
Yeah, you are right. Even OSHA too. OSHA ruled that you don't have to be vaxxed. And I've always said, like, I think you should have a choice on whether or not you get vaccinated, but then don't complain about the consequences. Because like every choice you make has a consequence. If one of those consequences is you get fired, it is what it is.
Exactly. And I think it falls right in line with like the rhetoric that even before the pandemic you would see about like alt-right people being like, oh, this is you're violating my freedom of speech. And it's like, A, no, because I'm not the government. And B, like you said some shit and people are reacting to it. Like their reaction is also
freedom of speech.
Yeah, like you don't get protected from consequence, exactly what you said. You get protected from the government being able to be like, to fuck your shit up because of what you say.
Exactly.
So like you're in court because you said some dumb, terrible shit. Your freedom of speech isn't being violated. Like it's just people being like, you sound like a dickhead. And then you being like, that's not fair. Like, yeah, it is fair.
Yesterday one of my friends posted an Instagram story about, I guess Fauci said it was okay he said kids under 4 years old are going to get 3 shots instead of 2. And my friend captioned it with like, this was their plan all along. It was to
vaccinate children.
And I was like, LOL, what? And then we went back and forth. We had a whole argument. And like, after I would like give him all this information, he would be like, yeah, but I still don't understand why, somebody would get fired for not getting vaxxed. And I mean, it kind of goes to what you said. I think it's less about the companies caring about your well-being and more so like they just don't want to lose workers. Yeah. So that their businesses can continue to run.
Employment's already shit.
Yeah. And that's seriously like a pre-pandemic, a thing that they would do. Like there's a lot of jobs. Like if you're a teacher, you have to have a up-to-date vax record. If you're if you're someone who travels a lot, you have to have an up-to-date vax record, and especially traveling like to specific countries, like to a lot of like African, Eastern European countries, there are diseases there that were by and large inoculated against here. So you have to get vaccinated before you can go travel to those places. These kind of barriers to entry along with vaccination have been in existence for a long time. And it's only recently that people complain about them because it's like, oh, well, we actually have to do this on like a broad scale now.
Well, that's what I've said too. Like to go to college, you have to get vaccinated. If you wanted to go to Africa, there's certain vaccines you have to get. Like, it doesn't make any type of sense.
Well, if you're in Africa and you want to come to America, you have to get shots. That's like the R. Kelly video where he sings, "Did you get your passport? Did you get your shots? Who wants to come back with Rob?" Because he's trying to get some African girl to just come with him back to America.
I like how it's like we're having a vaguely like conversation, and then Eric is just like, yeah, like that R. Kelly song.
No, it's not a song.
First of all, mute R. Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck R. Kelly.
No, it wasn't.
That one was a problem for me. I can't even lie to you. I did, but it was a problem.
Yeah, but
which one?
Mute R. Kelly. Like there are times where I just want to put "Step in the Name of Love" on or like Ignition Remix, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
Oh, is Mute R. Kelly a thing? I didn't realize. Yeah. I see.
Let's just basically stop listening to R. Kelly.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I got it.
I
don't think she'll lose her job. Like she's not outright saying anything violent.
Well, she did compare it to the Holocaust.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone's favorite thing to be like, this is like the Holocaust. And it's like, it really isn't. Like,
well, isn't that what Gina did? And that's how she got fired?
No, she did like a bunch of different, like that was one of the like 3 or 4 different things that she did. She was also like apparently like transphobic on set, and oh God, I'm blanking on his name. The star of The Mandalorian.
Oh, he wasn't fucking with her after that.
I'm not like, there's no reports that like he straight up said or did anything, but like he has a trans sibling and stuff.
Oh, right.
So like, and I more of like a history of like small things that just built up over time is what I remember Gina's thing was. And the rumors are that like she's probably coming back. Like,
really?
Yeah. Not necessarily like confirmed. There's no like contract, but I've seen things like speculation online is like, yeah, because she's kind of stayed out of it, like the public eye for a minute and hasn't done anything. There's a really good chance like she won't get her spinoff show, but she probably will still end up making appearances in The Mandalorian.
I mean, we
Well,
Only-
go, Eric. You go first because I
I was
just found
just
more
saying-
info about her.
I was just gonna say it wasn't that long ago when we were talking about that. It's not like she stayed out of the limelight for that long because she did the whole Ben Shapiro thing. Like, isn't that? I think that's still a thing. She's like working on the Ben Shapiro film, and I find it hard to believe that they would keep her in, and then while she's in the show, the Ben Shapiro movie comes out, and it's like this whole fucking anti.
I believe that Ben Shapiro actually has the means to produce a film. Like he's got money and he wants to, but have you ever read any of his fiction? He's
No.
trying to write fiction.
I didn't know he wrote fiction.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't anymore because it's absolutely terrible. But like if he's writing a movie, it's not going to be good. So it's probably gonna get cut up in production hell because they're gonna look at like the dailies and be like, "This is trash." Like, well, I guess we have to refilm it. Like,
Go ahead, Jake.
short stories. He has like I can't remember where online you can find them online, but it's just like a trio of short stories, and it's just a list. It's just a list of events. There's no like character development. It's just like, this is what's happening. This is how he feels about it. Like,
Oh my god.
like a perspective or anything like that. It's just like a constant kind of third party, like not third party, but like third person narrator, where it's like it's never fully the character, and it's never fully an omniscient like third party. Like, you know how like authors typically choose
Yeah.
Mhm.
choice on how they're going to tell their story? He never really does.
Oh my
Sometimes
god.
sometimes he refers to the characters in first person and sometimes in third. And it's like, I don't get what's going on.
Was this before? This was before he was like famously on Fox and whatever.
I think this is before he like really blew up. I don't think it's before like he was known at all, because he really, if I remember his first big thing, he was still in like fucking high school or some shit.
Oh, really?
Oh shit.
It was because he published this like crazy conservative outlet as a young person that he got like his initial burst of media attention, and he just kind of like stuck with that for the rest of his life. So it wasn't that early. It was probably like 10 years ago. That might even be long ago. It might be like 2012, 2014. Pre-Trump for sure.
Yeah, so March 2020, this lady
Which lady? We're talking about two different ladies.
Talking about Gina?
Or then
no, sorry, not Gina. Lilly.
March 2020.
March 2020, she refused to self-quarantine. Compared the
Jesus, that's like first couple days of the shit.
yeah, she compared the lockdown to martial law, and then said that there's something every election. So like meaning that it was fake because the election was there. So she's definitely
It's hit every country in the world.
MAGA person.
What fucking happened in the 2016 election? Was there some major event in 2016?
I don't think so.
12 or 2000? Like in 2008, like the market went down right before like I think the election actually was finished.
Oh, the emails.
Oh, but that was not like a global thing. That was just like one candidate has like some shitty emails.
6.2 earthquake hit central Italy. I looked up world events in 2016. That's all I got besides the Olympics.
Hillary's emails, and I mean,
Thanks, Obama, for your fucking
Do you remember that meme?
earthquakes.
Do you remember that meme?
absolutely. There's something every election. It's like, really? Because what? Like the biggest thing I can remember in the 2016 election was a candidate like got on television, like a fake candidate in like a primary with the name D's Nuts.
That was
And Harambe died. Like those were the big
Damn.
2016 events that I can remember.
the Pulse nightclub shooting happened in 2016.
But that's literally, unfortunately, like mass public shootings happen
All the time. Here.
So like to be
That
like
wasn't.
election year is, but I don't know.
No, I'm with you.
That's some stupid shit. There's always something. It's like it's March. It's fucking March. They're not even really like the primary still happening.
There's always something, Jake. Come on.
Yeah, I guess like we don't live in a static, non-developing world. That sucks.
All right. Should she stay or should she go? Do we just
Honestly,
I mean, she's a major character on the movie. Is it even worth getting rid of her?
I don't know.
Is it enough to? I feel like I would like whatever. Like people have fucking Gary Busey in their movies, and he's just fucking nuts. But they keep him anyway. Like who cares?
But Gary Busey has the excuse of being like a big ass motorcycle accident and like having like brain trauma because of it.
All right. Well, maybe Lilly took a bump.
She took a bump of something.
Damn.
But, no, I mean I wouldn't. Unless she did something like I guess it. I don't. Once again, those extra little details, just like damn, she's been like on this since like the jump. That's like March 20 is literally the very beginning. Like that's insane.
Yeah. So she's basically a MAGA, like a crazy MAGA, not just a I like Trump person. She's like a crazy MAGA, but I mean, no harm, no foul.
Not one of like the Midwest blue collar workers that are just like, it's been terrible for a long time. I hope it gets better with this outsider candidate. Like there's a difference between people who are just like desperate for anything and I guess people who are just like the fucking world is against us, baby. Like
something every election.
There was so I don't know. I don't think I mean, I guess you could. There's no like you can fire anyone. Like you just have to pay her out, I guess. But like depending on her contract language. But no, I don't think that would be like a terminable offense. I think work stuff typically doesn't. And I think a lot of the Gina things while she had outside of work stuff were kind of the respectfulness kind of stuff that I heard about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with her comparing it to the Holocaust, but
no,
like no harm, no foul. I mean, it's not like she shit on it. She just compared it. In my opinion, there's no comparison, but
imagine being like, I can't go to like my favorite bar. This is the same as like entire races of people being fucking murdered en masse. Like,
right?
It's exactly the same, Jake. Okay.
I made a decision not to get a fucking shot, and now I can't see the movie.
Yeah.
This is the Holocaust.
Like that's the only stupid part. Apparently she just says stupid shit. But again, like
that's so weird though. Like I didn't realize I haven't heard anything about her up until yesterday or 2 days ago.
Well, it was in the article about I pulled it up and I was skimming through the article, but it was in the article about her going to the anti-vax rally.
Maybe she's just kept it on the low. I mean, whatever. Anyway, to wrap this one up. Yes or no? I say no. Don't fire her.
Yeah, who cares?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, like the comparison's trash, and it seems to be like conservatives' favorite comparison right now. But yeah, I don't think it's a fireable thing.
Yeah, me neither.
She didn't like actively go and hurt someone or like do some like trash shit on set. So yeah, whatever.
And she's not necessarily putting anyone. I mean, I guess you could argue she's putting people in danger, but I don't know. I think that's just
though, because I mean,
no, but I'm saying with the idea that it's okay to I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but I just think realistically, like people who are listening to her are people who already believe it. She's not going to change anybody's mind with what she said. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think people were waiting for Evangeline Lilly to be the one that tells them that it's like the Holocaust. They were just like, well, I didn't trust Gina, but I'll trust Evangeline.
Yeah.
A year later or so. Like,
I mean, I didn't even know who she was.
I don't think it sways anyone. Everyone who's like who would support her already does in this endeavor.
I think it's probably just an awkward time on set with her. I would imagine.
For sure. Definitely. People are like, ooh.
I mean, but again, she's, I don't know, whatever. We don't have to keep talking about it. Anyway, the other really big story that happened this week was Peter Dinklage had a lot to say about the new Snow White movie.
I saw that.
Jess, you might have to look that up because I didn't really.
I saw the headlines.
I can imagine what his issues are with it.
What are his issues?
Well,
I didn't know there was a new Snow White movie. I think I saw like a headline that had Peter Dinklage, like it said what Peter Dinklage thinks about, and then trailed off as like a clickbait thing.
Yeah. So
like I was like, I bet I don't care. But
so I think the statement that he made, he was like, the movie is progressive enough to hire a Latina Snow White, but it's not progressive enough to realize that the way that they. I'm paraphrasing right now.
But Disney came out and said though that they were going to take a different route with the dwarves, because I remember being like in my head when I saw the headline, I was like, oh, they better do like the Saved by the Bell Seven Dwarfs where Zach and Slater were rapping the songs instead of
what the issue. What is his issue, that like they weren't going to hire like little people to be the dwarves, or that they were going to keep them?
I don't know. I think it's that they're living in a cave. I'm reading it now, but it's
they're
like
living in a cave.
Well, they live in a house.
Yeah,
traditional. They might.
I thought they lived in a cave.
No, they work in a cave. And Snow White Brit. This is really weird because I did just like have a lot of thoughts about like the Disney Snow White, like the original one, the other night in a text group. And now I'm talking about it here.
You guys were just chatting about Snow White?
I was chatting about Snow White because I had the initial thought was like, why did the evil queen choose to look like a fucking wild-eyed crone to get Snow White's trust? Because that just doesn't seem like a likely character. And then I was like, oh, because she's really well aware that in that entire movie, Snow White's a fucking idiot. But no, they live in a house. They work, they mine in a mountain, and then they come home and Snow White's like in one of their beds asleep, and they almost kill her.
So his information's wrong then, because his exact quote is, it says, take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, and you're still making that fucking backwards story about seven dwarves living in a cave together. What the fuck are you doing, man? That was his quote. And then he said, have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough.
Yeah.
So he's misinformed.
And so unless, well, I don't know if this is like a live action one.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Maybe they made them live in a cave. I don't fucking know. But
so maybe he just he's not aware of what the movie's doing.
I think so, because then there's like a spokesperson from Disney said, to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these seven characters, which is what I was saying, and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community. We look forward to sharing more as film heads into production, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
they live in a house, though. It finds a house in the woods with the help of, once again, I just was thinking about this dumb shit, with the help of like small woodland creatures. It looks like Eric froze on my screen.
Oh, he froze on mine too.
Eric's just gone.
The host is gone.
Oh God. It's a good screenshot though.
It really is. Eric.
On the timer. Oh God.
I'm gonna text him.
Yeah, he's probably just like, what the fuck? Why isn't anyone talking to me?
I love how he always is like, oh, Wi-Fi. I'm gonna get you guys better Wi-Fi. And then anytime it's his.
Well, he made you the host, fortunately.
Oh my God. Did you read the text?
No, what did he say?
His laptop died.
What? I guarantee it was unplugged.
Yeah, I know. Well, our host is gone. Well, while the host is away, the mice will play.
This sucks. All right, so at roughly the 27-minute mark, I guess I'll start it so we know where it roughly ends too. So roughly the 27.5-minute mark is where we'll have to make a cut.
Can you Can you invite him? Because I can't find his contact.
No, yeah, he said the same. I just invited him, but it won't matter until he's there. He is.
There it is.
Anyway, so you were saying he lives in a house?
Christ, Eric. You didn't have
Should I cut that out or should I?
No, just keep it in. Fuck it.
like a minute long. I guess it's fine. But
It's
like,
fine.
yeah, they live.
Welcome back to the Hold for Everything podcast.
My it didn't die. It just
Animals. Like,
they're. I'm not really understanding what is he just mad that they're doing the movie? Like, I don't get.
He's mad that the dwarves live in a yeah.
But why would he go out of his way? Sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
Live action is different.
So here's another quote. It says, "You do have to make a living. I do not fault anyone else who makes choices to play characters that they wish they hadn't, because at the end of the day, none of us are happy with our jobs all the time." So I guess he thinks it's offensive.
What though? The fact that there's dwarves?
The fact that there's dwarves, the way that they act, I guess. Like the whole
He hasn't seen the movie yet. I haven't seen the movie. I don't even know.
understood. I saw a lot of stuff of people being like, is this just like a publicity stunt where he's saying stuff to get a headline because he's kind of irrelevant now? I did see that.
I think that's a little much. I wouldn't say he's irrelevant. He just also.
I mean, he's kind of irrelevant now.
And
You
also,
know, like who the hell? I bet you if you went up to any type of Gen Z kid, they wouldn't know who Peter Dinklage is.
I think Game of Thrones was big enough where they would know who he is if I showed them a picture, at least.
I don't think so. Game of Thrones was a while ago already.
But also, I think he's
Jake
made
just
his
sent
money.
a picture of the house.
yeah. I just it's not.
Can we share that to the screen?
Yes.
They work in a cave. But I don't think that's his real point. I think he was just talking about stereotypes and shit. But I guess I still. Yeah, that's gross. I guess it's next to a cave. It's next to where they work. But
If you're listening on the audio, we're looking at a picture of Snow White's house or the dwarves' house next to Snow White's house.
no,
Well, we're
It's
looking at
kind
the
of
cave.
cute.
Snow White is royalty. She's this fucking daughter of the evil queen.
I mean, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, that's what we're looking at right now.
It does. That really does look like that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I disagree with the Gen Z thing because the older Gen Z people are like 23, 24 years old now. And that just means they would have been in high school when it was on.
Which they probably watched.
I think good chance. Like,
Okay, that's fair.
yeah. But like, yeah, I get that. Like, and especially how trash Game of Thrones ended.
Yeah.
I bet like beyond like the older fourth of Gen Z, it stops being relevant as like a film. Maybe it might be as a book because people still talk about George R.R. Martin and whether or not he's ever going to release the rest of it. But yeah, it's amazing.
The rest of what?
The books.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's not finished with it. There's, I think, at least two more.
He's definitely going to die before it's over, though. For sure.
I mean, the last ones he came out with, he released two at a time. So he might be doing
Working
that.
on both of them. But
Yeah.
didn't he, I mean, this is a side note, I guess, not about the podcast, but didn't he, it's not film or TV related, but didn't he like pass it off to somebody just in case he does die? Like somebody has the full idea just in case he does pass away before the books come out. I remember that being a thing.
Could be. I don't remember. But anyway, talk about fucking books.
Well, yeah, that's totally what he's mad about. I just pulled up every other article, and it pretty much he's just mad that it's dwarves living in a cave. So he's a little misinformed.
Could also, why would you jump to that conclusion when you haven't seen the movie?
Yeah.
Like you know that it's 2022 and you know that people are going to fucking be pissed about this, everything. So
Yeah.
you would imagine that this movie is going to do everything that it can to not be.
And they
offensive.
did cast a Latina Snow White. So like she's funny as hell, by the way, on Twitter.
I'm offended by that. Snow White is not Latina. Anyway.
Thanks.
Great point, Eric.
Thanks. Welcome to All for Everything podcast.
I mean, I could see like the Oompa Loompas. I could see how that's an offensive role.
Oompa Loompas are hilarious. What's wrong?
Oompa Loompas scare the shit out of me.
So, like,
Who did they hire for the job?
What?
Well, that's the point. Well, I mean, you saying
those
that
people
is
say yes? Yes, they did.
That quote that I read before was his point. Like, you take jobs that you don't want to do just to get them, which I get it, but like, I don't think this is the same.
Bro, nobody works as an Oompa Loompa and thinks that's their big break. You do it because it pays money. And
I think if for like little people that are trying to be actors, I don't think a lot of them think that there is a big break, and the disgruntled is because that's only those types of roles.
Yeah,
like, that's the only shit they'll ever like be offered in the eyes of like the big productions, at least. And that's frustrating to be like always reduced to these kind of roles, which I would get, but apparently that's not what Peter Dinklage said. So
yeah, right. Like that's exactly it. Like I just think his point is, I don't know, misinformed or
pedantic, because I think I do think I understand the sentiment behind what he's saying, but like
maybe it was. I mean, it was on a.
They don't live in a cave.
It wasn't a podcast though, so maybe somebody just asked him a question and he was like angrily answering. Like he maybe has no prior information. It's not like he came out of nowhere. He just woke up one day and was like, "Yo, fuck this movie."
Yeah.
So I mean,
you're right. I mean, look at me and you didn't know they didn't live in a cave.
I don't remember Snow White. I just remember those 7 dwarves and
I remember a little bit of Snow White. Like I remember like the whole apple situation and like the evil queen and the mirror on the wall. I don't remember.
The queen is hot. I remember that too.
The issue is that the queen isn't as hot as her fucking teenage daughter, according to a mirror that she owns. So like, that's the whole premise of the movie. This is why I think about it, is because it's wild from the jump. The whole premise is like the mirror that's told her that she's hot for the past decades. Like, actually, it's your fucking daughter's hot now, bro. Sorry to tell you. And she
anyways
handle that.
I hope that they have the rapping 7 dwarves like they did on Saved by the Bell. That's what I hope.
Speaking of hot teenagers,
God,
Euphoria.
We have a lot of Euphoria topics.
We got a lot of Euphoria. We can probably just mix it all into one. So I guess the major thing is not major, but somebody added it. It wasn't me, or maybe it was. Okay, I did see it, and D.A.R.E takes shots at Euphoria because I guess they glorify Rue and all the other characters of doing drugs.
I don't think it's glorified though.
D.A.R.E,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Program that statistically has been proven to have increased the prevalence of drug use.
Yep. 100%. Yep. That one.
I didn't know that.
They did it for like a decade. Like they've been doing it since we were kids, at least probably a bit earlier than that. And then like they have all this data and they're like, actually, a lot of the rhetoric they use is like actually probably drove kids to drugs, because like a large part of it's the whole peer pressure element. Like they advertise, everyone's doing it. And it's like kind of underscoring the idea of how badly people want to fit in. So if everyone's fucking doing it, they're less likely to be like, no, I can't do that now. So like,
Jake, have you seen Euphoria?
No, I haven't.
It's a great show.
Yeah, it is, but it's completely not glorified. Like if you watch Rue and you're like, I want to do drugs, your issue isn't the TV show. They show her addiction like super raw and real and how it affects everyone. Like I just don't think anybody who sees her fucked up is going to be like, I want to do that.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I'll play devil's advocate in this sense because she comes off as such a likable character, but she's always high.
Eric,
so
to a point that she can't function.
What's up?
Point that people who do drugs can't possibly be likable people?
No, what I'm saying is she's the lead character. Everyone loves Zendaya. She's all drugged out. She's this likable person. She's all cute and funny, and the way that she acts.
When she's not on drugs, she's cute and likable. When she's on drugs, she's fighting with her sister, her mother. I guess.
Yeah, but they also
she's overdosing. And they're like showing it very real overdose. They're not right.
But they do make a joke out of, the last episode, they made a joke out of, this is how you lie to people. You give them little bits of information and, you're like, oh, like
Yeah.
you get it, you give white lies so that the actual lie stays between you and nobody else. And
So you're
but
telling
they-
me you watch that, you're saying, oh, I want to lie to people. I want to be a manipulator. I
No,
want to
but I'm
be
saying-
so hung up on something that I'm lying to everybody I love.
what I'm saying is
Eric
they
already
make.
lives that life.
What'd you say, Jake?
Eric already lives that life.
Yeah.
It's just not drug related.
What I'm saying is they made a lot of those scenes, not all of them, but they make a lot of them comedic to the point where you're like, yeah, LOL, she's high, that's so funny. And I could see how, you know, her likable character could come off as.
So but here's what I'm going to argue on that.
Go ahead.
They make it comedic because when you're high, right, you feel those things, right? You feel good when you're high. So you can argue that it's real because her struggles are on the come down. That's when she's struggling. So it's like they're not lying to you. They're telling you drugs feel good. They do. If you've ever done drugs, you know that they do, but it's the fact that you get stuck on them and the aftermath of it that fucks you up.
But I guess D.A.R.E's argument is this is for people that don't do drugs. This is why it's glorifying. Like it's a shitty argument. It's
That's
if
my
you-
point.
if-
That's what I'm
if
trying
you
to say.
If you play Grand Theft Auto, you're gonna go out and shoot people. Like it's a terrible argument. Like it's not true. There's no stats that fit that. There's nothing supports what they're saying. I'm just saying I can see how somebody can argue that. Like I'm watching this episode and I'm like, yo, kind of like she just looks like she's living her life. This seems exciting. I kind of just want to be this carefree person, fucking do some drugs a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving the argument to the devil's advocate argument.
Sounds like if you only watched that like couple minutes of the show and nothing else, then that would be what you came away with.
Well, the entire episode is not about her doing drugs. It's just that one part. But
Yeah.
No, but it's once again, as someone who hasn't watched it, sounds like it's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah. And it always is like she's having fun while she's on drugs.
Right.
And then she's not anymore. And it's a super spiral.
Super spiral.
Yeah, super spiral.
They haven't hit the super spiral yet, but something, you know,
Yes,
it's
they
leading.
have.
No, but I'm saying it's leading up to, you know.
Eric's like, they haven't
That-
hit the super spiral yet. She's literally like beat her sister. She's like went to her drug dealer's house, like begging him for drugs at the door, crying. She's overdosed.
Yeah, but
she hasn't super spiraled yet, Eric.
She's begging her for drugs to sell, though.
Well, yeah, but she's an addict at his door. Like only addicts do this.
I'm talking about the last episode.
I'm talking about when she was banging on Fez's door. Like, I
that
need
was-
drugs.
Oh no. Anyway, I guess the other thing is, I mean, Jake doesn't watch the show, but fuck you, Jake.
I just,
It is a great show.
Anyway, the actor's name, her name is Sydney Sweeney, and she mentioned how, first of all, Jake, to preface this, Sydney Sweeney is the hottest girl on the show. She's not actually a teenager, so it's okay.
I was under the assumption that no one on the show was
Okay, great. I just needed to give you the okay to have feelings. Okay.
maybe okay.
I thought you would have liked Zendaya more.
Normally that would be my type, but for whatever reason, Sweeney
It's her
has
character. That's why.
Sweeney has a couple things that are
just like Zendaya makes like all this shit look fucking fantastic, but I don't want to fucking be around her.
That's what I mean. Zendaya makes me want to do drugs, and Sydney makes me want to have sex every now and then. You know.
Guys.
What?
Totally was in gallery view for the first like half of that podcast.
That's okay.
I fixed it.
It's too late. It's over.
Last 20 minutes.
It's fine. I fixed it.
That's right. I don't think it. Actually, funnily enough, the most viewed TikTok video is us in fucking whatever mode that is. But anyway, so Sydney Sweeney, she was. I just saw basically everyone has been pretty much objectifying her on TikTok and Instagram, just everything. I mean, they're like funny memes and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm sure she likes some of the attention, but I think right now she's having an issue with nobody seeing past the fact that she's very attractive and how good of an actor she is. I don't know if Jess has the quote, but
I think that we saw something different.
What are you?
I saw her crying her eyes out on Instagram Live because people said she was ugly.
Oh no, I saw her talking about oh no, it says it right here. She feels like she's been overlooked because she gets naked on Euphoria. So her acting, she feels like she's being overlooked because she's constantly naked on the show. But so is everyone else in the freaking show. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like everyone knows that she's a really good actress.
She asked for less nude scenes.
Definitely was not approved because I see her boobs every episode.
No, she said that he was supportive, but I saw on the internet people like fucking flipping out on Sam Levinson.
I mean, he's I don't know how I feel about him, but
yeah, same.
I don't know. He's got like a weird vibe. He calls Zendaya Z, and like I don't know, just the I know that's
why is that weird?
I don't know.
I mean, he's weird for other reasons. I don't know why that one's weird.
It was just one of the. I just don't like his.
I've only ever called Eric, and he's frustrated that other people have shortenings to their names. He's like,
actually,
Slavic bullshit has haunted me my entire life.
I get a lot of E. I get a lot of G. So no, that's not my issue. Okay.
I've literally never heard anyone call you that, and I know for a fact that I haven't.
I know you haven't called me G, but I used to work at a school in Brooklyn. Okay.
Oh, this makes me feel bad for her. I did pull it up. It said,
go ahead.
It says that she's never felt like Sam pushed it on her. And when she didn't want to, he didn't make her. But then it also says that she had experiences where she would want to go home and scrub herself completely raw because of how disgusting she felt. She didn't feel comfortable with her castmate or the crew and didn't feel like her character would be doing it. It's kind of contradicting, isn't it?
But it's also weird, though, that she's coming out with it now. Like the fact that she has the balls to come out with it now while the show's still going on.
Well,
so
because it's over. They're not going to have another season.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it's only 2 seasons. I don't think it's going anymore. I think it was supposed to be, but I could be wrong. I just thought that was
honestly, they spent so much money on this season. I can't imagine them doing another one.
Yeah.
There's no way they can afford to bring Zendaya back. There's no way they can afford to. They're shooting on film. Like, it's wild. They're shooting, what is it, like 11 million an episode or some wild shit?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's no way. It doesn't like, even if everyone in the world watched this fucking show every Sunday, I don't understand how it would financially benefit them.
But even like the stuff that they use, like the cranes and stuff that they're using, it's ridiculous.
Wild. And it's almost like not pointless. Like, it's cool. There was one where you're watching Zendaya, Jake. I mean, you don't have to watch it to envision this. This is for you. So Zendaya's in the house and she's leaving the house, and the crane follows a different character, I believe, and it goes above the house, and then you watch Zendaya walk to a car, and then it cuts to her.
It's a lot of like, car. Yeah, it's a lot of like continuous stuff of like 360s and loops. It's super cool though. Like, it really is. They did a good job.
Everyone loves a one shot.
HBO has a good history with that shit. Like, going back to Game of Thrones, I can't think it was the Battle of Castle Black has like this amazing sweeping continuous 360 shot that had to have been hell to film because like it's not like it's one of the few times I ever watched like how HBO always has like the how it was made thing at the end of it, because I was watching that and I was just like, that is fucking impressive, because that was like a cast of like 100 200 people all acting at the same time in different moments and hitting their marks as this camp. Like,
yep, it's
fun. It had to have taken a lot of fucking time and choreography, and it fucking looked great.
It's like Deacons in 1917, but on crack, because they're doing all these loops and stuff.
Yeah. You need to watch Euphoria, Jake.
I think I see some Deacon stuff now.
All right.
work.
We'll discuss that on next week's episode.
Deacon's the king.
And them Deacons films that I watch.
Roger Deakins watches this podcast.
Oh, I would die happy.
I would poop.
He just comments and he's like, Woody Allen is innocent.
I would be like, fuck you, dude.
Or you'd start agreeing with him. You'd be like, you know what? Actually, he's got a point.
I've thought about it.
I've thought about it. It's only one person accusing him. It's only, it's not many. He's no Cosby, you know?
I've come to the conclusion that Roger Deakins, he can't be wrong. So about this.
Free our boy Woody Allen. What else we got? We could talk about. I just saw this.
Are we not going to end that topic?
Oh, I mean.
Oh, it's sad.
Jake, what are your thoughts on Sydney Sweeney getting naked and the
way she seems to feel about it seems sad. Like I haven't watched the show. I don't even know who it is, which doesn't, I guess, help the self-esteem of the issue.
Did you watch Handmaid's Tale?
Yes.
She is Eden.
Oh, okay. I can picture that.
Yeah, you can.
No, yeah, that sounds terrible. Like, and it's more conflicting because, like she said, she said she never felt like she was forced into those scenes. It was like, but I can kind of understand that, where it's like you don't feel like you're pressured to do it in like that direct way.
Mm-hmm.
But because like the pressure of like the moment, and then like maybe just getting into a thing that ended up a little bit different than what you thought it was going to be, because that time where it's like you start to do shit, then you realize like halfway through, like, oh, I don't want to be doing this. But then at a certain point, it's like we're kind of already halfway through this shit. You just finish it and hope for the best at the end of it. Like,
right,
fun. But I think everyone, not on that level, but like everyone has an experience like that where they're just like, yeah, I wish I didn't do this shit.
Well, the one interesting thing is that Zendaya, she made sure that it's in her contract that she doesn't get naked there in the show. So
she's always been like that, though.
Right. I mean, whatever. I guess.
And it's not a bad thing. I don't mean anything by it when I say it. I just mean like she's ever since she was on Disney, like, well, coming out of Disney, she's always been like that. Like,
Disney was like, nah, girl. You're playing a high schooler. We gotta get those titties out.
Well, it's so funny though, because her show was with Bella Thorne. So could you look at the opposites of them? Like Bella Thorne came out of Disney, Zendaya came out of Disney, complete opposite from each other.
Bella Thorne is the only fans girl.
Yeah, she's the girl who hangs out with like all the YouTubers and like, yeah.
But anyway, I could see why Sweeney would be upset, because, I mean, obviously Zendaya is a bigger name, but like you said, Sweeney was in Handmaid's Tale, so it's not like she's nobody. I'm sure if she said she didn't want to do something, she could. Like Zendaya has that in her contract. I'm sure Sweeney, but
that's what she's kind of, at least my understanding. It seems like that's what she said, that like. She didn't feel like there was a lack of support for her if she did say no.
Yeah.
Really more so, I think, the rear view mirror of it. Like the moments that like she did do the thing. Like, I don't think it's purely being naked as much as it's like the naked in the context of what's going on.
And also like actors are, weird is not the right word, but like, so she got away with saying no when she didn't think her character would do it, right? So maybe in the moments where she thought her character would do it, she was uncomfortable as herself and then comfortable as the character, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes it I guess the argument could be made for a lot of sex scenes. Like, is it warranted all the time? Probably not. But
there's a lot of sex scenes and nude scenes that are just there for like audience reactions.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a lot of what Euphoria is, as far as like the sex scenes. Like, a lot of it can be implied. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, I feel like they have done some scenes that are implied. They haven't necessarily gone the entire way, but a lot of the times they'll go like, I don't know, they'll go super far. And, as like a guy, it's like, whatever, right, sure. But I can see how it can appear to be a little much at times.
Yeah. Same.
So shout out to Sweeney. Good luck.
Yeah.
One day I'll watch Euphoria. I just want to know, just as we're switching topics, I don't think this one will take long.
Go ahead.
No, why was Jorden Peterson talking about Idris Elba?
Oh, no, that's what I was going to actually go into next because I don't know the full story, but apparently they're actually considering Idris Elba. I know this has always been a thing. Like, it's always been a fan idea where Idris Elba is in the running for 007.
Yeah.
But apparently,
so hot.
Apparently he's in the running for 007. Him and I was going to say Mark Hamill. Definitely not Mark Hamill.
That would also be amazing.
That'd be fucking sick.
What
No, not
Mark Hamill going to put on? He's just going to do it all as like the animated Joker. Like, I love that movie, but
not Mark Hamill. What's his name?
Fire.
No, Superman. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill. Cavill or Cavill?
Cavill is what I've heard. You're the only person I've ever heard. That I know we've talked about him on this podcast because we did the fucking Snyder cut.
All right. we did do the Snyder cut. What an episode.
Trash.
Downhill from there.
I'd take Elba over Cavill in that specifically, only because I think I like Cavill a lot in The Witcher. I think he's brilliant in it. But I think Elba's, and they're not that much of a Venn diagram overlap, but his experience in like Luther and whatnot, I think helps a little bit in the Bond experience. Like, he does already have a more rough edged, like investigatory type. Like,
You're talking about Henry, right?
No, I'm talking about Idris.
Oh, okay.
Elba was in Luther. Henry Cavill was in The Witcher, which I love him in. I think he's like the best Geralt possible. But I think I'd pick Idris in this specific role.
I think he would kill Bond. I think he would do a great job.
I agree that he would do a great job, but I disagree in choosing him only because of his only because of his age right now. Like, they should have done it 10 years ago when they were like, yo, it just should be 007. When Daniel Craig wanted to quit the first time, that's when they should have swooped in and had Idris be the guy. But now, how old is Idris?
I'll look it up, but it wasn't 10 years. It was like Idris for Bond.
Yeah, but he also he's 49, but he's sexy. Like,
I get it, but also like age is, how many movies can they get out of this guy? They do one every 3 years.
But here's the thing is that they've had a lot of one-off James Bonds. They've had a lot of two, like, there's not like some contract that's like, you got to be able to do 5 Bond movies. Like, there's been several people that have done Bond.
I get that, but now there's like this new thing where, at least for the Daniel Craig version, they had an overarching story. Sorry.
But like, how old do you think Daniel Craig was?
He's old as fuck. And that's
exactly.
But he also did like 6 of them. I'm exaggerating, but he did a lot of them, and he didn't want to do half of them. But the point is, like, Daniel Craig, there was a story from the first one to his last one that all connected. I can't imagine, I imagine they want to do the same thing with Idris, and that would be hard to do if they're only going to do 2 or 3 of them.
Well, no, my point is Daniel Craig was also old in the Bond movies, though.
I understand, but when did he start? He wasn't that old when he started. He's been doing this for like 15 years now.
Well, I mean, how old do you think he is?
He's probably the same age as Idris. He just doesn't look as good.
He's
also, while they did that with Daniel Craig, that doesn't necessarily mean they want to do it with Idris. And I think, I don't know. I don't think that if you want to make the best Bond movie, that you're thinking like, what I'd rather do is like have a guy that might be able to make
multiple.
Yeah, because once again, like I don't think they're trying to make like a cinematic universe. Like, James Bond has always kind of evolved throughout the years and had some recurring like cast members with him. Like, that's happened throughout the entire iteration of it. Different, like, and some of them are continuous, and it's kind of implied that all of them are technically different bonds, not at the same time. Like, it's there's nothing.
I get that.
I be the better actor for the role. Like James Bond, as much as there's like a problematic history of it, does also like the character I think needs some level of kind of like sexiness to him. And I think in a cleaned up role, because he's supposed to be kind of like he's a fucking suave spy character, Idris Elba will provide that better than Henry Cavill, who looks much better when he's like dirtied up in The Witcher than he does when he's like pristine as Superman.
Well, that's the thing. Henry Cavill but Henry Cavill also, when I think of James Bond, I don't think of him. Like he's super like buff, you know, like James Bond is more like a suave kind of.
No, but if you saw, what was it, Mission Impossible? Henry Cavill was
should be
no. Henry Cavill was in, I think, one of the Mission Impossibles, and he wore like a suit, and he was one of the villains.
Yeah, but I still think like he's got big muscles. His face, he's not like I don't know. He's not what I picture as Bond.
I get that. I understand that argument. I just think longevity. If that's what they're going for, Jake could be right. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're only doing one or two, whatever. If they're doing one or two, then whatever. Throw it just in there. But I just think.
But also, I guess just to throw it in there, what would be the problem with doing like an older Bond movie? Like, what if you could find like if you did lean the concept that James Bond is as much of a code name as 007. And then we never see a James Bond die. What if they were like, we're going to make a climactic trilogy that ends with like
kind of cool
James Bond actually straight up dying to save the day?
Well, no, I mean, have you seen
the franchise?
Well, have you seen the last James Bond movie?
No.
Okay. Well, that theory goes to shit in a way, like without spoiling it for you. So it would have to be a new person.
How would that? It is a new person.
No,
They're not going to say that Daniel Craig's Bond is the same as this Bond. It's not going to happen.
No, I know, but I'm saying, because Jake is saying, why not do 2 or 3 movies where you actually watch him die? But in this latest one, you literally, spoilers, you watch him die. It's implied that Daniel Craig, like it's basically, it was kind of funny, but it wasn't meant to be funny, but it was also like everyone knows that Daniel Craig didn't really like being James Bond. So they ended the movie like, this fucking guy is not coming back. Like, we can't hire Daniel Craig again to do this. So, I mean, sure, like I don't mind them. Obviously, I don't mind them getting a new person. Like, that makes perfect sense that 007.
He did it for 15 years, by the way.
See, that was a lucky guess. I was just joking. I was exaggerating, but
I don't see why my theory would go to shit then. I think that.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm saying because they've already done James Bond dies. I can't imagine them doing it again.
Well, but
that's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying your whole idea is shit. I'm saying that idea where you watch him.
It's implied is what you said.
What?
You said it was implied
that
he died.
Oh no, you watch him die. What I'm saying, like,
word choice, Eric.
I'm sorry. It was poor word choice. I mean, the island exploded. I would imagine that he's dead.
Oh well, that you can't assume that with James Bond.
That's true, but
Jake is saying like you physically see somebody like stab him in the chest or shoot him in the face. Like he's saying you physically see him die on screen. Like you watch James Bond die.
I mean, you do physically watch him. You watch him explode. Like I don't.
Do you see his body fly out from the fire? That's what Jake's talking about. Like you see James Bond die on screen.
I get what you're saying, but they made it very clear
but
that.
Also, Eric, what I'm saying is that there's a narrative arc designed around with that for a purposeful end, and not like, oh, we're doing this to fucking make sure that we can't hire Daniel Craig again. Like there's like the story's more centered around that. The whole story across the 2 or 3 movies it's a different way to tell a story. Because like every Bond movie leading up to this one wasn't told with the idea that like this is an aging character who's eventually going to like die. It's like they
Right. No, I feel you.
They knew it would be probably dramatic, and B, they weren't going to hire him again. So like that's a little bit different than being like this is the story of like a middle-aged Bond, someone who's been doing it for a while, and how he kind of the career passes him by slowly. Like,
I guess my issue would be,
but he doesn't make it out this time. Like,
I guess my understanding of James Bond was like the reason that there were new actors for it is because in canon that human wasn't James Bond anymore. Like that code name, he just like stopped working for whatever
MI6.
So if they
popular theory, all I'm saying is that we often like I guess in the most recent we saw something similar to it, but like they don't really address when people switch essentially, because a lot of the early like 20 30 years the movies are all based around like strict plots already written by Ian Fleming, so they didn't have to actually be like, they could just be like, oh, it's just a new actor. It's not.
They did address. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that like that theory is exactly what I'm like saying though. It's a new Bond, but instead of being like, didn't the Daniel Craig one? Didn't it start off being like this is a guy starting off?
Yeah.
Like this is, instead of being like we're telling us on an origin story, we're going to start with the idea that you know who James Bond is, and this is kind of like an older one.
Or even too, like I think Idris Elba would be so good. Like think about how awesome it would be to start the James Bond movie, like Jake was saying, like he's an older guy. They do reintroduce you to Bond, but as an older Bond. You know what I'm saying? I think it would look ridiculous, and the way that they shoot it would be ridiculous.
And Elba's just fantastic as an actor. Like,
yeah,
I just think in general he's better for the role than Cavill.
Yeah, and he's gonna look so good in a fucking suit that's nicely fitted. He's gonna kill it. He's gonna be great.
Anyway, what did his name
say about him? That's why I wanted to talk about it, because
nothing. He was honestly, from what I saw, he was just fangirling. Like he tweeted that he was like team Idris, but I think it's because he's a huge
Jorden Peterson was team Idris.
Yeah, he's a huge Idris Elba fan.
That's not what I expected at all. I believe you, but now I have to see this.
No, I'm lying. I saw somebody else tweet that Jorden Peterson is a huge Idris Elba fan. No. Okay. So his tweet just said, the free market will have its revenge on all forced woke narratives.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay. That sounds more
That's
like
opposite.
That sounds way more like it.
That sounds quite on top of the Jorden Peterson standard. What I don't, I guess a little break off of cancel culture is I don't get how it's not just a permanent aspect of capitalism. Like it's, you did something shitty and the public was just like, yeah, we don't care to support you anymore. And then people are like, oh, cancel culture, all these woke, like you notice that with Joe Rogan, there's like a ton of people who don't like him, but there's a ton of people who do like him. And therefore nothing happens to him in a substantial way. Like,
yeah.
I think if you I don't want to say let the market decide, but Rogan has done he's spreading misinformation and a bunch of other, you can Rogan, go down the list. But what I'm saying is I don't think he's done anything enough to the point where you're like, all right, bro, somebody's got to stop this guy.
He's also very clearly opinionated, though. If you take shit Rogan says as fact, like even when Rogan talks about boxing, dude knows MMA, stick to MMA. Even shit he says about boxing, it's like when you listen to it, if you know what he's talking about, you're like, this dude doesn't know what the fuck he's saying.
It was less about Joe Rogan in particular, because I don't really care about Joe Rogan, and more so just an example to be like, people don't actually get canceled.
No.
Like it's really just people being like, yeah, I don't want to support that, and then not supporting that. Like the phrasing around cancel culture is what I don't like, because you look at like most comedians who have been quote canceled are still getting like Netflix specials and shit. Like they're not actually canceled.
Yeah, well, I think it's different. I think like
We're not.
I think what you're talking about is more like what you said. Like people will be like, okay, I don't like this person, I'm not going to support them. But I think it's more like holding people accountable as opposed to being canceled. And then there's actual cancel culture like R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein.
Is it cancel culture to be like we should put the fucking sex criminals in jail? I don't know.
Well, kind of, because we didn't do it beforehand. You know, like
the idea that like we eventually were like, oh, we should throw away the sex criminals and that's. I think that's just being like, yeah, that is pretty fucked up, isn't it? Like,
but here's the thing. I remember, so I was too young to fully grasp what it was, but I remember when R. Kelly video came out of him peeing on a child. He wasn't in jail for that, ever. No, yeah. I remember it. You know what I'm saying? But now people see it and they're like, oh, this guy's got to go to jail.
Well, there was, yeah. And I think that mindset of people being like, yeah, that's fucked up. Like, just because people didn't think that objectively fucked up thing is not as fucked up then. And a lot of people did actually think it was kind of fucked up. Like there's a whole like Boondocks episode about it being both weirdly controversial and fucked up.
Oh, totally. But he still got away with it. Nowadays, could you imagine him getting away with that? Never.
No, but I mean, you got to take a bunch of different things into account.
Here's the thing is that people still do, like our homeboy Woody Allen. Not that he has a videotape of him peeing on a kid.
Yeah.
But he's a fucking pedophile and we all know it.
You know what that means? That means he's not as bad as R. Kelly, baby. Free Woody Allen.
He's not in jail. That's the point. Like a lot of people who do fucked up shit and don't go to jail.
Isn't he in a different country? Free Woody Allen. Bring him back to New York, baby.
A different country. He's literally in New York.
That's Roman Polanski.
Yeah, you're thinking of like the other director who's a terrible person.
Bring back Roman, baby. What he do?
But even him, like, see, Roman can't get in. I wonder why Woody's skirting the inevitable.
Because it's one girl. There's like, it's not like Roman. I don't know. That's a good point.
Because Cosby got taken down, Weinstein got taken down, R. Kelly.
But Cosby was 60 women. R. Kelly, like these are easy ones. R. Kelly was 20 whatever women.
Part of it is it'd be very difficult, like the level of difficulty to convict. You have a lot of victims. It's much easier to like get that. Yeah. A lot of attorneys won't take on, not attorneys, a lot of prosecutors won't take on cases if they're not pretty certain they can get the conviction.
Yeah, you're right. I know what you're saying.
And there's no real physical evidence at this point based on it being decades ago.
Yeah.
So that's a level of why a lot of people who, you know, and there's quite a few people who.
Because even Spacey got it.
Yeah.
Like even Spacey's canceled. The House of Cards got canceled. Like when all that shit was going on.
And, without him.
Yeah.
He also
I thought it got canceled.
Murdered 3 of his.
Oh yeah, he did. Kevin Spacey murdered his victims.
To wrap up this Jorden Peterson clip.
Wait, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Peterson thing.
Nobody told me Tom Hardy was also in the running.
Yeah,
because now I'm torn between Idris and Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy would be a great Bond too. I'm
gonna give a hard pass on Tom Hardy. He's let me down with Venom and several other movies.
Venom. Give him a break. Venom sucks.
I love him, but he didn't become what he could have been, what I thought he was going to be.
I still think he's so good. I think he just has bad management.
He did the movie with James Gandolfini. It was okay. He did one. He did actually. You know what? He did one movie that I really like. Sorry, we don't. We're talking about Tom Hardy.
But talk about just the general movies that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hardy. So like. Yeah.
But anyway, I guess I could take Tom Hardy over Henry Cavill. I guess
I would.
If I had to, I don't know though. I still, because I don't think he would. He's not clean enough to.
Oh, have you? Yeah, he is. Look him up.
Somebody
he can be clean.
Somebody made the argument that Peaky Blinders guy could do it. What's his name?
Weed.
Say that again.
I don't know his actual name. I'm just saying the lead.
Oh yeah, the lead, yeah. But he's a little too skinny for me, so I don't know how that would work.
I think he could, like, I wouldn't have thought of it, but now that you said it, it's like, yeah, I could actually see that working.
I mean, he works as like a tough guy, so but it might be hard to kind of differentiate.
See, I'm not gonna say it.
Do it. You can do it.
I was gonna say I don't think he's attractive enough to be Bond. And I'm not being a dick about it. I just think that's a role where
no, you're not being a dick. He's a weird looking guy.
I made that same point about Elba. I thought Bond is supposed to have like a certain like suave sexiness about him.
Yeah.
I thought Elba brings that more so than Cavill does. Cavill looks, like I said, at his best when he's a little bit dirty.
Yeah,
Like,
I would go Elba, Tom Hardy, Cavill, and then this guy.
So what do we think about Peterson? What exactly is he getting at? Is he saying that
just saying
the forcing of a black James Bond is an issue?
But who's forcing it? Nobody's forcing it. It's basically racism coming out.
I mean, yeah.
It's also like fanfare. Like everybody online wants him
his shit to get his base to be like, yeah, you're right. But it is just on its surface forced wokeness. It's like, well, you'd have to then say that Idris Elba is a bad actor. Like, and right. I don't think you could make the point that Idris Elba is a bad actor because, like,
do you think he is?
No, I'm saying you couldn't. I don't think you could.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, like, if you want to say like this isn't a vaguely racist thing, like saying it's forced wokeness implies that he couldn't earn that role outright. And it's a lot to say, I think, that Idris Elba is not a good enough actor to earn that role. Like, I think time and time again, he's kind of proven that he is.
I feel that. I mean, he's got how many movies on Netflix has he done in the last 2 years? He's got like 3 movies on there. Two of them are
been an accomplished actor for a minute now. Like,
yeah, The Wire, everything.
Yeah, but we're at an hour 15, and Jess is spazzing out. So,
and Jess is what?
Camera is spazzing out.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Shit. I didn't know we were at an hour 15. My bad. That was my bad. All right. So
because we had some downtime, but yeah, at this point,
that makes sense. All right, we'll wrap it up. All right. Any final words before we wrap this thing up, guys?
Fuck you to the guy that almost ran me over on my way home today.
Damn, you good?
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly like.
All right, great.
Fine, obviously. Wouldn't feel like I need to go to the hospital to listen to the podcast. But yeah, no, some dude just like swerved into the bike lane and almost fucking ruined my shit. So props to that guy who's like, I don't care about driving in a storm. I'm gonna fucking.
Was it snowing?
Yeah, it was when I was heading home. So it was snowing. And it wasn't bad out yet. Like, I don't even know if it's bad out right now while we're recording this.
I don't think it's going to snow, bro. I think it's over.
Eric, take a look outside. Fuck.
Eric's in a basement, so.
Bro, it's like fucking crazy.
I don't have windows in this house.
But, already.
Can we clip me saying I don't think it's going to snow that bad from that to everyone walking outside with fucking cars sliding down the streets and.
Like the Kim Kardashian. Have you ever seen that clip? The Kardashians are driving in the car in like Utah or something, and they're getting into an accident. You shouldn't laugh because they actually got into a car accident, but it's the funniest clip I've ever seen in my life.
Anyway, Jake, where can the people follow you?
They can't.
Mom's house.
All right, Jess. Any final words before we head here?
Fuck Eric.
All right. Free Woody Allen. We'll see you guys next week. You can follow me on twitch.com/Eric the Cinnamon, where me and Jake are going to play Take Two. It Takes Two. Call of Duty. The whole thing. And that's all I got. Sorry.
And Eric the Cinnamon.
That's a great name. I don't know how I didn't think of it earlier. Eric the Cinnamon. It's great.
But
it's wonderful.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Thanks guys for coming. See you guys next Monday. Have a wonderful night. Hopefully you didn't get stuck in the storm. Maybe you did.
The Snorm.
Yeah.
The Snorm.
It's a Pokemon.
I didn't think I didn't think the microphone was going to catch me saying Snorm, but
Speaking into it.
hopefully you guys didn't get caught in the Snorm. See you guys next week. Goodbye.